Hello and welcome to today's episode of The Drawing Board. My name is David Franklin. I'm your host. If you're a regular watcher of the show, you're looking forward to a gender episode that I promised a couple of days ago, but I'm not giving you that. I'm going to be talking a little bit about politics, something I do my best to not talk about, mostly because I agree so wholeheartedly with everything I'm going to say in this episode. But before we get to that, why am I doing a video on politics? Well, in the news, on Facebook, you hear so much of Democrat this, Republican that, Clinton this, Trump that, Kasich, Rubio, whatever on this side, and we've got Bernie Sanders on the other. We just go back and forth, and I think it's so easy to vilify the other side. It's so easy to think, as a Republican, look over here at these weak people who can't do anything. They know what needs to be done, but they can't do it. They can't even bring themselves to admit the reality of the problem. And then we go over here, and we're going to say, look at these people who are just absolutely brutal and have absolutely no sense of the human race. They have no sense of compassion. They have no sense of reason. They just want to attack and destroy and run all of our resources to the ground. It's so easy to look at the other side and see them as a machine, as being completely evil, as being completely ignorant and stupid. And I think it's easy to lose track of, just because we disagree on how things should be done. For the most part, we all want the same thing. It's just the method in which we disagree. So, a couple weeks ago when we were talking about gender, I went into a lot of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I love the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's really interesting from a psychological perspective. You've got your base needs of safety on the bottom, then you've got physiological, and then belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Yeah, self-actualization on top. And the idea being that these on the lower level are the most important things to you. And if you don't have them, you will basically die. And then on the top are the things that you really want in order to feel fulfilled. And any time, let's say your safety here, you're not eating, you really don't care about who you are as a person anymore. Or you really don't care about how much money you have if you don't have food. And so, if the lower levels fall, like on a pyramid, the top levels fall. But all parts of it are important. So if we look at the Maslow hierarchy of needs, you can see that every single human being, whether they're Democrat, Republican, or even if they're American, we all have basically the same needs. And if you're not American, I'm sure there are different political opinions in your country, even though it might not be as heated as is here in the US. You can kind of see what I'm saying. There are different ideas and different needs, and everyone disagrees. Whether you're talking about the budget, and you're talking about whether you need to spend more money to fix problems, or whether you need to spend less money and work things out. Really, what we all want is, on the very bottom, we want safety, and then one level up, we want financial security. We don't want to be in debt as a country. None of us do. But some people think we should therefore spend less money, and then others think, well, we need to spend money in order to solve the problems so that eventually we will have less problems that need to be fixed and solve the problem that way. So whether or not you buy into one of those ideas or the other, we all want safety and we want financial security. Whether you're talking about social equality, that's a little bit different. But I think everyone, for the most part, at least for themselves, want to feel accepted. And so whether or not you're saying, all lives matter or Black lives matter, I understand there are certain people who are extremists on one side or another. But I think it's important to remember that one way or the other, we all just want to feel as if we are important, as if we are valued. If you're talking about gun control, this is one that's really close to my heart. I did a video a couple months ago on why people are scared of guns, associating aggressive stances and things like that with guns. And whether or not you are pro-gun control or pro-gun, one way or another, we all want to go outside. We all want to feel safe every single day. If we're going to a dance club, if we're going to school, if we're going to the supermarket, wherever we're going, we want to feel safe. And some people feel that the best way to do that would be to take away weapons, and hopefully that would keep it out of the bad guys' hands as well as the good guys' hands. Unfortunately, there may not be a way to do both. but in some ways you'd rather it be in good guys' hands. But if it means taking away from everyone, albeit it's safer. And then on the other hand, you want to feel safe maybe by saying, you know what, you can't keep it out of the bad guy's hands, so you might as well keep it in the good guy's hands. And I think it's really easy to vilify that, saying on this side, you see these people as being weak and impractical. On this other side, you see these people as wanting tools of destruction in order to kill. And therefore, anytime something happens with a gun, they must have wanted that to happen. And I think it's really easy to go back and forth on both of these ways and not think about the fact that we all really just want to go outside and feel safe every day on issues like abortion. Whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, one way or another, we all want to feel moral. That's a little bit higher on the pyramid here. It's probably the fourth level, might be the top level. I think it's the top level, self-actualization. That includes morality. All we want to do is we want to feel like good people. Really, that's what all of us want to do. And whether that's saving the life of an unborn child, or whether that is giving a woman the choice to do with her life what she so chooses. And if that means, you know what, I'm not going to have the money. I'm not going to have the money to raise a child, and this child's going to have a bad life. To choose to give that up. One way or another, whatever way you go, both of us, both sides, we want to feel moral. We want to feel safe, whether you want to take away guns or whether you want to have more guns. Whether you want to have Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter. One way or another, you are talking about wanting to feel important, wanting to feel like you're someone and you're represented in culture. Whether you're talking about spending less money or spending more money in order to make the world a better place, in order to eventually not have the budget deficit. Whether you're talking about the environment and you're talking about, do we need power is it important to have a little bit less power, have a little bit more expensive power right now so we can have wind and solar and nuclear and all these clean sources giving us the power? Or do we not have the option right now? Do we not have the option to spend time on these really expensive things, and instead we should just find ways to burn coal a little bit cleaner, at least for the meantime, while we're trying to develop more energy and bring it to more people and solve more problems that way? Because we have a budget crisis. Why would we not try and spend time? I don't care. From even a scientific perspective, I'm not trying to say which way is more effective and which way is less effective. Right now, all I'm saying is whichever way you go, whether you go left or right, whether you go conservative or you go liberal. And by the way, those aren't even mutually exclusive ideas. You can be a liberal Republican and you can be a conservative Democrat. It doesn't matter where you are on this spectrum, or if you're moderate, or you're libertarian, or you're Tea Party, or you're Green Party. I don't care where you're at. We all have the same pyramid of wants and needs. And at the end of the day, all of us probably have a pretty similar idea of what the future looks like. A lot of us probably want to have no debt, no starvation, no unnecessary violence. We'd like to see everyone living in much higher living standards, in much nicer homes with cleaner water, all living longer, healthier, happier lives, having the resources in order to go and explore space and seeing new places in the galaxy. I think that's what we all want. It doesn't matter what political side you buy into. This is what you want. You want this magical world that hopefully we grow ever closer to every day. The only disagreement is on how to get there. Think that through. You're mad at someone because they have a different plan than you. It's not a good enough reason. We're all in the same boat. We just have different ideas of where to go. No, not even that. We all have the same idea of where we want to go. Some people want to take one route and some people want to take another. And in reality, there's more than just two routes as well. But we're mad at people because they want to choose a different route to the same end goal. And that's not a good enough reason. We all want and need the same thing. It's time to start acting like it.